lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about the art of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, the amazing film that came out this past summer. Super excited to talk about it finally. If you are a follower of the channel, fan of the channel, you know that we love Ninja Turtles over here. So excited to kind of show off some of the cool process stuff that they have in here. There's a couple interviews. Before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody to make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. We got a bunch of dope content on the channel, including a playlist dedicated to none other than the Ninja Turtles. So please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all the support that you guys give us, and let's get into it. As anyone who's seen the film knows, very unique animation style. To me, it's kind of like the next evolution of like what we got with, Into the Spider-Verse. Really completely different type of animation style than we've ever seen before with that film. And now this one's doing something completely different as well, where it's like you're constantly seeing, it's like looking at the drawings almost in motion, like they're being drawn as you're watching it. Really interesting style, but Jim Sorenson put this together. Got some art by Yashar Kasai. I'll give shout out to all the people that did that, but just really cool. I love this aspect of it, how it looks like it's in the Notebook. I mean, if you're a kid of the 80s, 90s, that you remember that ice cream from the ice cream trucks. Really great book signed by Nate Wittick. And so we get a foreword from Ramsey Nato, Nickelodeon Paramount Animation president, talking about this book coming together 40 years ago was when the Turtles were created. Obviously, not quite, but it's coming up on that 40th this year, which is crazy to think about. So cool to get a little forward from that. Ramsey gets some art here by Yebin K. King. I love this scene, the turtles swimming in the ooze. Jeff Rowe, the director of the film, does an intro. Get this scene of Baxter, which was definitely a different take on Baxter Stockman than we've seen before. He's the one responsible for creating all these mutants, even though we got TCRI, which is where the ooze was created. And anybody that knows about TCRI knows that is where the Utroms, which are sort of introduced in here, are going to come from. Get a cool little brief history of the Ninja Turtles. I won't get into it too much, but pretty cool to see them, honoring the past, talking about in 84, when the comics started. Only 3,000 copies were made of that first issue, and it blew up. This is the pinup from issue 1. We got this ad for issue 2 right here by Eastman himself. Got some animation stuff from the 87 cartoon, the 1990 movie. Both hold a special place in my heart. I mean, was watching that cartoon from... I was super young when that came out, so, and then this was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater, so, again, very special place in my heart. Cool little talk, talking about, or it did talk about the Jim Henson's Creature Shop and how they made the animatronics for it. We get a little photo with Kevin Eastman posing with one of the stunt actors, TV Guide, which you don't see anymore. Very cool page from Dan Duncan, and and it's just going from the entirety of the Ninja Turtles, which you could easily do an entire book about, but they call out specific points. The 2003 cartoon, which I really loved, and then it goes into the 2012 cartoon, which was really popular, Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the CG animated film that came out in 2007. And then talking about the comic books and how now IDW has the license. I love this picture of Peter and Kevin for the official release at the Portsmouth, New Hampshire Comic Con. Pretty fucking crazy. May 5th, 1984. And then we got the current crew. We got the Mayhem team here. We got Splinter. We got April. And then this is going to be broken down into chapters focusing on each character. And then who it's voiced by. And shout out to the voice casting. Nicholas Cantu is the voice of Leo. I love the voice cast for this film. It's fantastic. We get some notes on their decisions on why they wanted to make the Turtles look the way they did and each have their look. I think Leo's the most classic looking of the turtles for sure. And then we get these like headshots of the different reactions. I won't get too much into the details of like the notes that they gave, because I think that that's obviously the fun of looking at these books, besides looking at the art. Love, the actual turtle. You get the Talbot turtle. Some great shots talking about their weapons and their design. Get Donnie. Micah Abbey is the voice of Donnie. And cool getting, not only notes by the animators, but by the director, production designer. And Donnie obviously gets a little bit, has a little bit more notes from the lead character designer. I think that's, you can tell, like, when these people are talking about each turtle, like, who their favorite is. And obviously that designer, Donnie, was his favorite. I love the choice to put Donnie with glasses. Some of his, like, even going so far as to break down the stickers that are on his laptop and cell phone. His bow staff. I thought this was pretty cool because I didn't see it in the movie, but Donatello's carved into it, which is pretty cool. You get Raph, my favorite. Brady Noon is the voice of Raph. Pretty cool to see this as well. And, even so far as that, like in here you don't see it, but they decided to give Raph a missing tooth. He's more of the bruiser of them. He's got band-aids all over the place. I love his size. And because he fights so hard, he has to duct tape one of them. I love this concept art by Lauren Arias, I believe is how you say the last name. Very dope. You get Mikey by Shannon Brown Jr. And I love the decision, the level of detail they put into the... And I thought another unique thing that they decided to do here was they gave Mikey braces, which is kind of funny. And it's like, how did he get his braces? But you kind of like, you don't question it, right? Get the cast right there, the way they make their makeshift bed with like plywood that's just like attached with whatever they can scrounge up. I love his nunchucks. He got, tricks those out too with some stickers on the side. He drew a little face on it. But really dope concept art. We get an interview with Seth Rogen, which again, I'm not going to get too into, but it's clear that he loves the Turtles, and I'm really, he really let the creatives do what they wanted to do. This was like the first piece of the animation that they showed, and he wanted to keep it with these like little sketch marks on the side. And I thought that was really cool because that is what we did get to see in the film. And we get April, where they wanted to, honor the previous iterations, but also make it fresh and new. And I really dug, her whole personality in the film. I think each April has been definitely unique. I think this is probably one of the more unique takes that I've seen, or from where she came from when she was created in the comic books, and she was Baxter's assistant in the lab, and then you go to like the news reporter, and she wants to be a news reporter, but she's not quite as confident as April from the 87 cartoon or the 1990 movie. Get some of the different designs, get her helmet, and then just some really dope art. I love the Manhattan Bridge, because they firmly entrenched this thing in New York, and they did a great job of making it feel like New York. Get this Baxter Stockwood by Giancarlo Esposito. I think he's like super, like the way he's balding, he just looks so disheveled. So interesting that they chose to go the route they did with him too, where they didn't make him turn into the Fly, but he's responsible for creating the Mutant Fly too. And his like makeshift laboratory with like just in his apartment. Cynthia Utrom, Maya Rudolph voiced her. So again, Cynthia Utrom is going to be from the Utroms of the alien race, and we don't meet them. It's going to definitely be prevalent, I would imagine, an animated series moving forward, and the next film that they're going to do, some of the TCRI lab, the technology, to me definitely has a callback, and it says it here, to like the 90s cartoon playsets, and I definitely feel that with the aesthetics. They definitely captured that. Very cool there. Some dope stuff with New York City, all the buildings, just a bunch of cool stuff in here. And again, like, not just an art book. that's showing out the art with notes of it, but like having the interviews in there, having them like relate to or talk about how much they love the turtles and stuff like that was pretty cool. Again, this another great casting, Jackie Chan as Splinter. I just loved him as Splinter. So good. To me, he kind of stole the film. I love I love his hair, and then him in the 80s when he's younger with his old school flip phone, aviators, and just the way they made the sewer lived in. Not grimy and gross, but like with using the pipe right to where they're sleeping. So very smart choices that they made. And I've heard people, whether you like it or you don't, get some cool storyboards. Whether you like the film or you don't, I think it's cool to watch the Turtles kind of have different iterations for each generation. It's very different from the original comic book. It's very different from the original cartoon. Each one has its own unique flavor, and I think that's what makes the Turtles so cool, is that they're able to adapt for different generations. Each person has their favorite. They're all valid reasons for why you love them, and at the core, they're always the same. Superfly by Ice Cube. The arcade hangout where they were staying, and then all the different mutants. You get Bebop by Seth Rogen, Rocksteady by John Cena, Genghis Frog by Hannibal Buress, Ray Fillet by Post Malone, Mondo Gecko Paul Rudd, Leatherhead Rose Byrne, Scumbug, Wingnut by Natasha Demetro, and then the vehicles. Love this. Very cool vehicle designs. I probably would have had all these when I was a kid, or I would have begged my mom for them. Then we get an interview with Jeff Rowe in the back. The Mega Mutant. Love this stuff though, man. Just level of detail they put into this is just amazing. And then of course the Turtles go to high school, so they wanted to give them their own look, but they'll call back to their colors, each of them having their own style. You got Raph looking like almost like a jock, somebody of the 90s. You get Leo kind of looking preppy. Donnie's like this tech nerd, and Mikey's just this kind of party guy, skater. So very cool. I like that they called it Eastman High. Yeah. Very cool book. If you have not picked it up, I highly recommend it. If you're a Turtles fan, if you like art books, this is probably one of my favorite art books that I own, and I suggest you all seek this out. Go pick it up. While you're at it, make sure you check out the Ninja Turtle playlist on the channel. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, I'm out.